everybody, this is Jeff, and now we are here at the Hollywood Studios in Orlando, Florida. I've got a lot to say about these parks, you know, the passes and whatnot. You have to verify when you're getting the park pass, are you getting the park hopper? Is it a park hopper but only allows you to visit any of the four, just one a day? You know, you have to verify all these things. And then you also have to verify, is it time restricted? So for example, I bought the park hopper. That's what they told me at the hotel. I was getting the park hopper. $186. That meant I got a day and a half. What ended up happening was that park hopper ended up being that I could only enter one park per day, and actually I had to enter after 12. So it wasn't a full day and a half for $186. It was after 12, only one park a day. So I ended up having to actually redo my, pay another $137 to add that extra hour, because I got here at 10:40 a.m. So I paid $140 for that, plus multiple parks in one day. So I intend to go to Epcot also. Some other things that I would say that you need to know about coming to Disney World, because that's what this is, you know, the four parks: Animal Kingdom, Epcot, Disney Studios, Magic Kingdom. And then they have a couple water parks and whatnot, which I'm not too familiar with at this particular moment. But the parking, for example, if you go to the parking lot, okay, it's $25. But if you take an Uber, that's a lot more affordable, right? Especially if you have a family, because they'll drop you off right at the front. So I found that to be pretty easy to go for $10 each way, right? $10 to $15 each way, depending on how far away your hotel is. But the thing to consider about that is Disney doesn't like when you mess with their money. So they actually, let's just say they had 1,000 cars parked in their lot. That's 1,000 cars times $25. What do we have here? What is that? Oveg? Love G. Love G. Okay. There we go. Just want to show you that real quick. It's $25,000. So if they have 3,000 cars in there, that's $75,000. So they don't really want you to do the ride share thing with Uber or a taxi, because they make a lot of money on that. And I'm putting this all out there because this kind of stuff happens, and it can catch you off guard as to why they make the rideshare guys drop you off so far away from the gate, to where it's no longer as convenient as it once was. I mean, at Animal Kingdom it was inconvenient to take a taxi or an Uber. Here at this park, they actually let the Uber drop you off fairly close to the main entrance. Okay, another thing, when you first enter into the park, this was here now at Hollywood Studios and yesterday at Animal Kingdom, it does take a while to get into the action. Like the first few moments that you're spending, like the first hour, you might typically spend trying to get familiar, get your bearings about the park before you actually start to figure out how to do cool stuff. And so it's happening now. I'm just walking around here. You can see it's pretty boring looking, but I know there's a lot of cool stuff here. But I've done a lot of walking and haven't really seen a lot. Yesterday when I first went to Animal Kingdom, I was thinking to myself, what's going on here? Where's all the cool stuff? And it took me about an hour to get my bearings right, to where I was like, okay, this is a cool park. But you can see right now, I mean, yeah, you've got Star Wars Launch Bay, okay? You've got Disney Junior here, but obviously, to those of you watching right now, you can say, well, why don't you get a map, find out where you want to go, get a plan. Yeah, okay, but I'm also first time in this park after yesterday with Animal Kingdom. I've actually never been to this park, but I'm trying to figure out the direction to go to get to where things start to liven up. But as you can see, this has been pretty dull so far. Okay, so lots of walking, lots and lots and lots of walking. Also, one more thing that I would recommend, Fastpass. If if you can get a Fastpass that cuts down on lines. I mean, just to get on Pandora yesterday was 105 minutes. That's a little over an hour and a half. That's an hour and 45 minutes, right? Of standing in line. Now, Fastpass on a lot of these rides was pretty much instantaneous, and I found that to be probably worth it. I don't know how much extra it is, but if you got the money, Fastpass will make sure you get more rides out of the deal, because I don't know about you, but spending an hour and 45 minutes in line, that's crazy. Also, if you do choose to do the after the 12 o'clock deal, that might not end up being a bad thing, because nighttime is when this place has really come to life. Like, all the people I've talked to, the locals and whatnot, whether it be Animal Kingdom's Pandora or not just Animal Kingdom Pandora, but even this park, the Star Wars at night. So the Toy Story thing at night. People really recommend these things at night. So, and I don't know if you want to spend from 10 till 9 at the park. It's kind of crazy. It's 11 hours and a lot of walking. Like, you're almost guaranteed to get blisters walking this much, because these parks are pretty big, and you might not fully realize just how big they are. So when it comes to the food, though, the food is pretty diverse. It is expensive, but it's a good idea to try.
Bud says riding with Slinky Dog on the coaster set reminds him of flying.
Is that Tom Hanks?
Fly. That's all he is, just a toy.
Is that Tom Hanks or a different character? I couldn't tell. But yeah, the food, I'm going to see if there's any food stuff around here. But a lot of the restaurants were on the, they're not near the front end of the park. The front end of the park is like strategically designed to sell you souvenirs. You want a restaurant, you want food, you got to go into the park. That was at least how it was at Animal Kingdom, and that's how it appears to be here at the Hollywood Studios. I have not yet been to Magic Kingdom yet, or Epcot. I've been there before. That's why I'm choosing to go there towards the latter part, because I already have some experience with those parks, but I don't have much experience with this one or Animal Kingdom. But, you know, as far as bringing your family here, trying to stay happy. I mean, I've listened to people complain about the heat, the humidity, the crowds, the rides being shut down. Like yesterday, I went to Everest. I was in line for 15 minutes, and then over the intercom at about 5 o'clock in the afternoon, the lady comes on and says, "Oh, due to technical difficulties, we're shutting down Everest." And what do you think my first reaction was? You gotta be kidding me. She's like, "Please exit now. Please turn around and exit now. The ride is closed." So that kind of stuff can happen. You'll be waiting in line. The ride will experience a technical difficulty, and bam, they shut it down. Here's another thing in the sky, high in the sky. But yeah, so it's been the weekend, and it's been pretty crowded here, but not too terrible. Even though the lines, what I'm saying is it gets worse than this. So this is September, and this is not considered peak season. Because remember, it's not peak season because most of these kids go to school during this time. But I am here on a weekend, so I would love to come here on a Monday or Tuesday and see just how relaxed this place gets. So when it comes to things to bring inside the park, there's a lot of things that you shouldn't bring inside the park. Okay? Look at this. Look at this guy. Look at these guys. Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker. That looks hot. How are they staying cold in that? Things to bring in the park, you know, don't bring knives, don't bring guns, don't think that it's open carry. Can't bring a gun into here, okay? There's a lot of things actually that can get you hemmed up. Basically, if you're gonna come here, bring a purse, bring a backpack, but bring water, you know, the basics. Don't try to bring any weapons, or even in my case, a drone. Do not try to bring a drone inside the park. Not that many of you were going to do that anyway, but just letting you know. So this is the Star Wars. This is a big thing. This is like the new big thing here at this park. We've actually got a lot of new rides that they're featuring, but Star Wars is one of them. I think Magic Kingdom has a couple. Oh, cool. Average price for like a water is $4.50. That's a good thing to know, because I found myself needing to drink a lot of water. But yeah, bring your flask, your thermocup in here, fill it with water, because you're going to need a lot of water. They do have water fountains around here. I didn't drink any of those yesterday, but I saw a lot of people using them, and they looked like some of them had filtration, so they look like they're pretty safe to drink. As far as the staff goes, I'd say it's pretty well incorporated in Disney's experience to tell their staff to be friendly and say hi to people, because people have gone above and beyond being friendly for the most part. So it's pretty good. They like to say hi to the kids, and you know, that's what you like, because that's why you come here. Anyways, guys, so that's going to conclude this episode of Things to Know About Coming to Disneyland Parks. If you guys have any other questions, do ask them below. But here we are at the Star Wars exhibit, and we'll see you guys next time. Subscribe to Island Hopper TV if you enjoy videos just like this.